Feel the magic in the air. I love it in my ole. Ale, ale, ale. Feel the magic in the air. I love it in my
Feel the magic in the air. Magic system. Red one, Shawty. Feel the magic in the
We're live on 99.39 Giro Info. We are Femi and the gang ready for a game on broadcast that should last until 10 p.m. tonight. My name is Chuma Noli. Always a pleasure coming through on Monday evenings to talk about exciting stories that should tickle your fancy, whether your name is Francis or Nancy. On the show for tonight, we can speak about Nigeria's Flying Eagles, who have officially qualified for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, having gotten a ticket to the semi-final stage of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Barcelona are champions of Spain, or are they not? Yeah, we're going to talk about if it's already done and dusted after their victory against Real Madrid yesterday in the Clásico. And how about this record that Arsenal seem to have against top sides? Is this something worthy of being proud of, despite not winning a trophy again this season? We have stories from other sports as well, and we will celebrate Remo Stars, who officially have gotten the crown as champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League. There's these and more for you, including one play money too on the show tonight. Yeah, have you played one play yet? If you haven't, you can play now. There's 40,000 naira each for several winners on the cards, and you can be one of those lucky winners by using the website to play. It's going to cost you only 500 naira for each entry of yours. The website is www.oneplay.ng. That's www.oneplay.ng, and the code is *347 *880 *3 hash. *347 *880 *3 hash. When you play, please ensure you have your phone by your side, because those calls will be coming through tonight. And, well, people like you should have cause to be excited before the end of the show with some extra cash getting into your pockets. Without any further ado, let's delve into the nitty-gritty, shall we? We have some fantastic gentlemen in the studio with me. I'll give it up for the man who, first off, has become a role model when it comes to fitness in recent times. Give it up for the legendary.
Thank you.
Chidozie Okoroji, aka Overdose.
Thank you, Chuma. You're far too kind. You know, I looked at myself in the mirror today. I'm like, what a transformation, you know, because 2 years ago, maybe late last year, you needed to see me, you know, not really healthy, breathing heavy, big. And a lot of people complained, Overdose, what's wrong with you? You are relatively still young, you know. But I think the last...
A lot of people, including Colette.
Yeah, Colette. Ufoma's.
Oh, daughter, are you serious?
How old is she now?
She's fine.
I went into Ufoma's room and she was like, what are you doing here with your big stomach? And that really touched me. Like, it really touched me. There was another time her mom was like, I should get something from the cupboard. I don't know. I think it was a drink. Okay. So I checked. I didn't see it. And I'm like, I didn't see it. And the mom was like, it's there. And I checked again. I didn't see it. And then the mom was like, oh, okay. And then she stood up. No, the mom stood up and then just put her hand and she said, and the college was like, Chemi said you didn't see it. I don't know why you don't have eyes. You're using your eyes for something. There was a way she said it, like, I just looked at this girl like, I don't even know. Yeah, she said, Chemi said you didn't see it. I don't know what your eyes are for. Oh, God. I was like, wow.
Very rude girl.
Wow. But anyways, I mean, it's just banter. I look at her and I'm like, no. I think she's even more vicious than Ufoma himself. Like, she has the heart. Your son, that's what I'm saying. Ufoma, yes. Yeah. She has more like ginger than Ufoma. Ufoma is on the quiet side, but she's like a soldier.
Like his father.
Yeah. But anyways, it's good to be here. And I'm loving the new me, you know, just taking it one step at a time. I don't know, maybe I should open a class and then just tell people the secrets to healthy living, you know, because I want people to be inspired by me, you understand? So
I know you're a man.
I'll tell you.
I know you're a man of class, but it doesn't mean you can school me. Okay.
Chuma, cook. But it's good to be here anyway.
This other man who says he's quiet, don't already they talking to me.
He don't touch me now. He don't tell you what waiting, he don't tell me.
We have in the studio.
But that girl, no, that girl is vicious.
Confidence.
With her mouth.
It's the confidence level.
How they tell you. And she will say it to your face,
the new
she
generation
will look at you and say it. She doesn't care.
The new generation wouldn't shy away from telling you their mind. It's funny. In the next 10, 15 years, we'll have these kind of conversations where the new generation look like a born shoe. It's already started where if your boss doesn't do the right thing from your POV, they can tell clear the boss. That's where we're going to, actually. Looks like that's where we're going to, honestly. But give it up for this man who has worked with the new generation, the old generation, and the coming generation.
For school money.
Ahead of music for Mike Bamino. What's up, bro? Welcome.
Hi, Chuma. Good evening. Good evening, Lagos. It's good to be here.
You will not tell me good evening. Has it come to that?
You be who?
If not, I told Chuma to be putting inside this sports team. You won't give me credence. I don't understand. Has it got to this? First your daughter, now you. Don't do this.
Don't let me send email.
And the most proud person in the studio right now, he came in with forming.
I don't mind now. Don't mind now.
Because of Barcelona. You know the idea of you coming inside knowing that people will want to eulogize you and you're already forming like, guys, I'm not getting carried away.
We chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You know this trend on social media now, my shoulder they high. Let me say I'm proud now because my team win part 4, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 in team win everything.
But how can they beat you 4 times?
It's crazy, bro. Let's give it up for Brownish who comes through the only Barca fan in the studio right now.
Says who?
You be Barca fan, for
man of the Barca fan.
Why that your mic no loud?
The mic is on.
It's on, but it's not like so. Maybe if you come this side,
okay.
It's on, but I think
My voice must be heard. Gen Z supremacy.
Exactly.
But Barcelona have not won the league.
I'm going to have to switch cheers, actually.
Cheers, man. Cheers to the trophy. I see what you are doing. Cheers. You know, this is a guy who
again,
yesterday he
Chuma,
almost lost his voice.
How can you score a hat trick and still not be on the winning side?
My brother.
Kylian Mbappe. First it was the World Cup final in Qatar. And now again a Clasico.
By the way, he's the 4th player this season that thing is happening to against Barcelona. He's the 4th player. The Benfica top striker, forgotten his name.
Pavlidis.
It happened to Pavlidis. Yeah. It happened to Borja Iglesias. It happened to Sergio Guirassy.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Borja Iglesias scored a hat-trick against Barcelona.
I'm talking about Guirassy. Guirassy won his own game.
No. Yeah, but like it didn't matter.
But no, you said it's happened to 4 players this season where they scored and they lost.
Okay, yes, but he lost.
But he lost over 2 legs. That's
we're talking about the game.
No, but like I'm just saying.
He's talking about hat trick.
Yes, he's talking about hat trick.
Right?
Yeah.
I actually had to correct French journalist Lorient, what's his name again?
Julien Laurent.
Yeah, he put out that tweet earlier in the morning.
Anyway, he's the 4th player. Who
for your mind now you correct it.
I just know the facts.
He's the 4th player. Kylian Mbappe is the 4th player to get a hat trick against Barcelona that didn't matter. A useless hat trick. Yes.
Okay.
So
now, if you put it this way, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That didn't matter.
Yes.
But he actually in the morning put out that lost the games.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
anyway,
it just had to be 4 times because you guys always score 4 goals now. Over the 2 legs now.
And then that's why
four
I
goals
had to
score.
come in late because Barcelona always show up late.
Jesus.
Punchlines.
This boy is coming too proud.
So guys,
He's becoming too proud.
My shoulder no high. Yamal just plays for my team.
I honestly pity for Femi Daniels.
No. I love my job.
No. I can troll him.
Yeah, no, that's you. You're a boss.
No, it's not about being boss. You can. As far as we're concerned on this show, he's a part of the team and we can troll him.
Man, no deal.
I mean, start the trolling.
Exactly.
Now me start the
because
trolling.
he's coming back.
He's like Arsenal, trophyless.
I don't want to talk. Say listen to Monday night shows.
He's like Arsenal.
But to be fair, too,
Trophyless.
I also feel for Femi Daniels. Chief, I must agree to that.
No, he will go about and tell you.
I wasn't in the studio when this was happening.
In fact, I'm not even supposed to be on the show.
We will come back next season and win the treble. Well, they've never won the treble before.
Can't say.
Okay,
that question was asked.
So since
a lot of
you
us
guys have already taken us there, let's just go there now once. You get it. Let's Kukuma go there and
over the top. Well, how many times?
It can be Vinicius, it can be Bellingham, it can be Arda Güler.
Mistake there, and Rafinha might have the chance to score another for Barcelona. Ferran, Rafinha, and there it is, the 4th Barcelona goal in this explosive first half. A second for Rafinha that takes him.
I would think so. Yeah.
Bellingham slipped that through to Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe finishes past Chesney. The flag goes up.
So Barcelona beating Real Madrid by 4 goals to 3, all 4 goals for the Barca team coming in the first 45, despite going 2 goals down. That seems to be their new ideology, right? They did that a couple of times against Inter, concede 2 goals, go 2-0 down, and then come back. Well, Inter, they may not have won, but come back. That's what they seem to be used to doing these days. Barcelona, this time around, they didn't just come back, they came back and got victory from that game to go 7 points clear on top of the La Liga table with just a couple of games to the end of the season. And yeah, several things we'll talk about as to the El Clasico and all of that. Did I just say the El Clasico? Pardon me, the Clasico. If there's the D, then it's Clasico. If there's no D, then we do El Clasico officially. Chuma, Brownish, Ufoma, and Overdose in the studio. That will be our first talking point before we delve into other things on the broadcast. We'll also touch on Nigeria's Flying Eagles shortly because they did something fantastic for themselves against defending champions of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. First things first, guys. Can we now make a bold statement and say that this has been the most one-sided rivalry in European football this season across every top 5 league in Europe? All of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Can we beat our chests at this stage and say that this has been the most one-sided rivalry this season?
Isn't it obvious?
Okay, sorry.
It's quite obvious, Chuma. You meet a team 4 times and they literally wipe you off your feet 4 good times. Even though technically one game was a draw. The Copa del Rey final was 3-3. You needed extra time. But it doesn't matter. The point is that whenever you play your rival, form is not the issue. You know, like cliche goes, form is thrown out of the window. You're playing for pride, you're playing for everything. But if your rival comes to your house and utterly smash you by 4 goals to nothing, you go to Saudi Arabia to play for a Super Cup, they smash you 5-2 or 5-3?
5-2.
You come for a final of a cup competition, the biggest domestic trophy, domestic cup competition, and they literally come from the jaws of defeat and still find a way to beat you. And then the last time you're meeting that same team in a game where you are condemned to win, because winning means that you can go all the way possibly to usurp that same team and win the league title. And you even get into that game, and in the first 14 minutes or thereabout, you are 2 goals up. They still find a way in the remaining 30 minutes or so left in that first 45 minutes and score 4 against you. Chuma, you should ask yourself loads and loads of questions. You know, now, to be honest, Real Madrid fans can, always go back to their heritage and their history and talk about the fact that when it comes to Europe, they are the kings. Nobody's arguing that about them. When it comes to even domestic league titles, they are still the kings. Barcelona still remain second fiddle to them. But for this season, I'm sorry, most one-sided rivalry you can think about. Even Sporting and Benfica, have had to trade, ups and downs. Arsenal and Chelsea, it's been. Talk about the rivalries, not London derby. There's been... And
not too many have had to meet themselves 4 times.
4 times in a season. So, in fact, there was even the possibility they could have met themselves in Europe. But Real Madrid left the scene way early. So, I think it's been the most one-sided rivalry, across the world. So
I want to say that was even a passive question because we have serious stuff. But
I wouldn't really agree because when you look at the fact that 3 of those times, Barcelona met a backline that was depleted. A Real Madrid backline. Eda Milica was not really there. He's been out injured for how many months now?
That's not an excuse.
No. See, you know what? No. Because when you go to context, or when you go to a contest with a man that is one-handed, you understand? You know that man is one-handed. You definitely will beat him.
Yesterday, Barcelona had their first 2 fullbacks. Their first 2 first-choice fullbacks, not in the game. What do you say to that?
Their first two.
Their right back and their left back did not play that
forward,
game.
that is
No.
They had him. They had two of. They had their number one striker. But they had their number one striker not there. See,
Lewandowski was not.
We can use excuses.
If Lewandowski was not there, there was a Ferran Torres.
But you just
Ferran Torres.
The strength of Real Madrid is their backline.
Guys,
Carvajal has not played.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. As you talk about right back for Barca, we'll be right back. Okay, stay with us, guys. We'll be back on the show in a bit after a quick commercial break. When we return, there will be a major focus around that game, and we'll ask ourselves a pertinent question: does this season dent the legacy of Ancelotti as Real Madrid boss with how embarrassed he has been against Barca all season? We'll be back after now.
Mommy, he wants to watch you too. Not my phone again. Every time.
It is thick and tasty, and if you choose to cook stew, jollof rice, sauce, egusi, spaghetti, eforiro, and what a better correct wakis them. Waiting make Topisto tomato mix different, not the taste, and you fit find out for all leading supermarket and for any market where they near you. If you want make they supply you or you want be distributor, make you call 0704 800 0558 or 0803 570 0177. Topisto tomato mix. The difference, not the taste.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Take a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive, the InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator, is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
My ions, please, can't get enough.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's game on.
Feel the magic in the air. Feel the magic in the air. Feel the magic in the air.
Two more hours to go on Game On with Femi and the Gang out Nigeria. And for the next 15 minutes of our presentation, it will be brought to you by our great guys at Bet King. Yeah, we know that the football season is still up and running. We're heading towards the final stage this month, of course. But even after it's over, we still do have the FIFA Club World Cup to come from June 10. So there's so much you can bet on, courtesy of Bet King. All right, so it's very easy for you, Bet King. I'll tell you about all the goodies that brand has for you. It's exciting to know that we can talk about this one. The fact that there is the power to win bigger in your hands. I know for some people there's that fear sometimes. Oh boy, am I going to get it right? Or am I not going to get it right? You know. But BetKing is giving you 100 Naira sign-up bonus. Also a chance to win 1 million Naira after 14 days. And 50 free casino bets on Aviator. Just download the BetKing app, use the promo code FreeBets, and enjoy rewards. Terms and conditions apply, of course. And it's important you also play responsibly. We know it's not for persons under the age of 18, but I'll tell you more because we do have several options, even beyond betting on live football games. There are some of the amazing options that BetKing have for you that come with fantastic rewards. So stick around and you hear all the good news on the show at this time. It's Chuma, Ufoma, Overdose, and Brownish in the studio. It's also you out there too, connected to the broadcast. All right, we love it when we hear from you via the WhatsApp portal using X at Nigeria Info FM and picking your calls to you through the phone lines. So we had
sometimes true power no be by muscle. As I did so, I not get the power to run 10,000 kilometers. But you see, when it comes
BetKing Bet Builder, you fit pick multiple predictions like who go get yellow card, which player go score with high odds, wey go make you win bigger. Download BetKing app today. Register am with promo code FreeBets. Make you too enjoy 100 Naira instant bonus. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
Yeah, it was important you heard that from the horse's mouth. Really asked you what BetKing has for you. More of that you'll be listening to from me in the coming minutes. So before the commercial break, the guys, I just asked a passive question about dominance in rivalries in leagues in Europe for this season. That was just passive. Now we can get into some serious talk as to the fallout from El Clasico, right? Carlo Ancelotti is a man who's highly respected in football circles. Till date, he's the only manager who's won a league title in each of the top 5 leagues in Europe. French Ligue 1 crown with PSG, Serie A, AC Milan, Premier League, Chelsea, La Liga, surely Real Madrid, Bundesliga, Bayern Munich. He also gave us team Champions League title. He came and won the Champions League again. Last season they won a double, the La Liga and the Champions League. It's not happened too often in the history of Real Madrid, the opportunity to win a double in a campaign. But we have seen it in football that no matter how good a coach is, many times derbies. I know Real Madrid and Barca are not in the same city, but in quote, it's perhaps the biggest derby in the world. Not perhaps, it is. When it comes to rivalry at club football level, El Clasico is number 1 as to club football globally. And then you face these rivals of yours who are your biggest rivals in the sport. The first time they beat you 4-0. You'll be like, okay, first of all, that's embarrassing enough. 4-0 at home. In Real Madrid's home, that's enough to sack a coach on a good day. More so by Real Madrid's high standards, right? Now, you had a chance earlier in the year to meet them in Saudi Arabia in the Super Cup final. They scored 5 goals against you. You scored only 2. This was on neutral turf. 5-2. Again, these same guys again did this to you. That's enough to sack a coach. Now you move on from that. You say, okay, we'll have a chance to meet them in the second part in the La Liga. Hopefully we can rectify the wrongs of the past. And then fate gives you an opportunity to correct it early enough. You meet this team in your FA Cup final, in quotes, the Copa del Rey final, and they beat you again. One final throw of the dice. Last time you're meeting them in the season, you had a chance to say, okay, well, you beat me 3 times, but you know bad. We finished on a high. We beat you. And then in the process of beating them, you would have gone 1 point behind them in the race for the La Liga title and potentially win the La Liga and say, okay, yeah, you beat us 3 times, but we have this trophy to show. And these guys come from 2 goals down to beat you 4-2. Sorry, 4-3, pardon me. First half 4-2. Second half, Mbappe completes his hat-trick and they lose by 4-3. So, I want to ask this question to you who's listening to the broadcast now. Also to my guys in the studio, Former Overdose and Brownish. How much will these defeats dent Ancelotti's legacy as Real Madrid boss?
Chuma, I don't think it does.
4 times before embarrassing defeats.
No, I don't think it dents his legacy. We're talking about a manager who over 2 tenures at Real Madrid, has won 15 titles. We're talking about the man who has got the highest number of titles as a manager for Real Madrid. We're talking also about someone who's lasted the longest, at least in recent memory, over the last 30 years or thereabout that I've been watching football. Yeah. No Real Madrid manager has lasted this long. I don't think you're going to judge Don Carlo Ancelotti on the basis of just this season. It's been embarrassing, no doubt. It's been shocking at times, yes. But let's not forget, this is the man who won the double last season, and we're talking the double of Champions League and La Liga. Barcelona are about to win the double, but theirs is not comparable to what Don Carlo did last season. Yeah. So we can give Barca all the platitudes that they deserve. It's been an exhilarating season for them. None of us, probably except maybe me, at the start of the season thought that Barcelona would have what it takes, especially when Real Madrid signed Kylian Mbappe. If you remember at the start of the season, for a lot of Real Madrid fans and for a lot of pundits, they believed that Mbappe was going to be the key to Madrid, domination, especially if you look at how they ended last season. Yeah. There was even a point this season in December, January, when Real Madrid were actually 6-7 points clear of Barca. There was a time Barca had that mid-season wobble. Yeah. They went from being in the lead about 5-6 points to even trailing by 6-7 points. But right now, they are now 7 points behind Barca. So yes, it's not been a great season for Don Carlo, but it doesn't in any way tarnish his Madrid legacy.
Ufama kept saying, let's not forget, but we'll forget. We will definitely have to forget, because there is a reason why people say you are as good as your last game. And I remember in one of the Game On shows this season, I kept saying that Don Carlo has lost it. It doesn't matter if you are the highest winning Champions League manager. It doesn't matter to me if you have collected the whole accolade. Sir Alex Ferguson in his book said the biggest defeat that still pains him even after retirement is that 6-1 loss he suffered at Old Trafford to Man City. So nobody should come and tell me that Barcelona beating Real Madrid 4 times has not tarnished Don Carlo's legacy. It has tarnished it, it has dented it, it has even put a huge hole in that legacy. Because number one, we are talking about Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. And when you are managing a club like Real Madrid with players that have ego, you need to get results. Barcelona, Real Madrid, the El Clasico is there for a reason. At least even if Barcelona beats you first and second, you two turn up now and show them that we dey here, we have the bragging right. But no, he just stays on the touchline, chews gum, looks. I don't know what he's doing there, and that's why Real Madrid have said, you know what, come and be going to Brazil, please go and coach the Brazilian national team. Let Xabi Alonso come, because you cannot tell me it has not dented. Look at Arsenal. Okay, fine. Even Real Madrid fans believe.
Don't bring us inside this conversation.
No. Even Real Madrid fans believe that Real Madrid will still get over Arsenal.
Stay with me. Let Bet King speak to us and you tell me more. Just stay with me.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
As a Madrid fan, will you be?
Okay, I think we still have 2 minutes before Bet King.
Okay, so thank you, Bet King. Now, what I'm trying to say as I land now with these 2 points is that Real Madrid should have at least won one of those games. One! Even if, okay, fine, they beat you in Spain, home and away. Neutral ground. There's a reason why you signed these players. Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe. How can Mbappe score a hat-trick and still lose? That's the question I asked before the start of this show. And you know why? Because Carlo Ancelotti does not have a plan B. Look at Hansi Flick. When Hansi Flick is coaching, he will read the game and then implement changes that would be in Barcelona's favor. Don Carlo will just be there, folding his hands, looking, because you've won, you a senior man, so to speak. Senior man that cannot read the game is not a senior man. And that's why, for me, this legacy has been dented. In fact, it has been tarnished. A whole Real Madrid cannot even boast of one win against Barcelona.
Why you did shout?
No, it's painful because you came here and you're saying, don't forget, this is the highest winning manager. This is a man who has won the league in 5 continents. If he likes, let him win the league in Antarctica, in Iceland. Let him go and win the league there. You are the coach of Real Madrid for a reason, and it's to get results. Look at the White Angels, the fans all across. Real Madrid fans now cannot talk. After that loss to Arsenal, they cannot open their mouth. Why? Because of Don Carlo. Then you now add Barcelona. See, Chuma, it has dented his legacy. Let nobody tell me anything.
Brownish, no, Bet King have 25 seconds to speak to us. I don't want to cut you, Brownish, when you start talking, because I'll sure love to get your perspective to this one. But I'll also add that Bet King are working with us at this time of our broadcast, and there's the Bet King Virtuals that brings you non-stop action with many games like Kings League, Kings Bundesliga, and the Kings Italiano. All right, there's even more. In 3 minutes, the game is done, and you don't cash out like that. Just fast. Guess what? New players get 100 Naira welcome bonus to start with Bet King. Listen to more.
Guy, I don't cash out from Bet King Casino. Send your ass and make I run you something.
Boss, bless your boy too now.
I beg you, my oga, make it no pass me.
Ogala, make it toss me too.
Oh yeah, make una send the other. But you say fit become Odogu with 2,500 times multiplier for Bet King Casino games. The power to win bigger is in your hands. Download the Bet King app and register today using the promo code FREEBETS to enjoy 100 Naira instant bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
Yes, important you play responsibly, and that's the best part of Bet King. Also ensuring that you're safe and you're good and you're sound while you're betting to make some money for yourself. It gets even better. Every week you could win a share of 7 million Naira in the virtual jackpot. So you can go download the Bet King app right now, register now. No need to thank me, man. Just give it a try, first of all, and then you'll be thanking yourself for giving this one a try. There's also the Bet King Casino games. Yeah, stuff like Down for Lagos. You can have also a spin at winning big with King of Spins, or even take cashing out to new heights with Aviator. Basically, there's a maximum of 30 million Naira to be won on casino, and it could be you getting that money. If you are new to the system, just get the app for yourself and sign up and register. You get 100 Naira instantly to, as we do it in this part of the world. You want to buy groundnut and you're telling the woman, Madam, give me testing, not even tasting, or testing. So you have 100 Naira to use to test things out for yourself, all right? And also 50 free bets on Aviator. You can play now on Bet King Casino, where the power to win bigger is in your hand. Brownish, you have this in your hand now as you're searching for the remote, but you have the mic in your hand.
No, before even Brownish talks, let me just add one final word.
You never do.
Rice that Real Madrid could not eat, PSG use it to do party. And you say Carlo Ancelotti's legacy is not dented. In fact,
you don't win.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, I don't know how overdoes the shouting. He sounds
no, but it's true now.
Undercover Real Madrid fan.
He's taking it personal.
It's so personal. But yes, what I would say is that there's no way that this season dents Don Carlo's there's no way that he dents his legacy.
Don Carlo has paid for former Brownish. They've collected a brown envelope.
Brownish.
Brown envelope. They don't collect brown envelope.
And then here's the thing. The thing is, because of all the people in this place, I feel like I'm the most impartial because I absolutely detest the club. If we're talking just off the basis of fanhood, you probably never catch me dead wearing a Real Madrid shirt.
Wow.
Right? But here's the thing about Don Carlo that you cannot, and everybody is going to see things in context. Every single time they mention this season, Barcelona beat Real Madrid 4 times in a season. Two things are going to be mentioned. But that Barcelona's team was mad, Sha. That's provided that whether or not the Barcelona team gets better in the summer or not, it changes nothing. Because everybody remembers this Barcelona team have scored 4 or more goals over 20-something times this season. I'm not talking about, 4 or more goals against Dagenham and Redbridge, or they're playing Sunderland. They're playing the likes of Bayern and they're turning them. They're playing the likes of Borussia Dortmund. They're playing the likes of Atletico Madrid 4 times in the season. Played Real Madrid 4
Every
times
day it's about
with an average of 4 goals across the 4 times that they played. So this Barcelona team dominated Europe and then were knocked out by a more experienced and more well-coached side. A side who are farther along in their project.
Okay.
As well. So in my opinion, I think that everybody would remember that Don Carlo himself, as at last season, everybody was thinking after Manchester City won, after Manchester City won
that
the
treble,
league,
yeah.
I still remember people saying, even going into the final against Dortmund, that Dortmund are the better side. Now Dortmund, this is Dortmund's chance to win the final because Real Madrid are not really all that.
Okay, talking about last season.
Last season's final,
2 seasons back.
But Real Madrid turned up, and
weathered the storm, got their chances,
and they got their chances and took it. And people really fail to acknowledge so many things. In as much as I'm a Barcelona fan, I'm still here in my capacity as a pundit. You have to acknowledge that Real Madrid did have a lot of injury. While nobody would care about that on in long term.
Yeah.
But the fact remains that Real Madrid did have a lot of injuries. Dani Carvajal has been out since the Euros, right? We've seen Antonio Rudiger play the majority of the season with injuries. And while Barcelona have also been plagued by their own injuries, as a Barcelona fan, I'll be the first person to acknowledge that injuries can incredibly handicap your team.
True. No two ways about it.
Throughout the entirety of last season and 2 seasons ago, Barcelona fans kept shouting a fully fit Pedri would dominate Europe. A fully fit Pedri. It became so entrenched that people started turning it into a meme. Fully fit Pedri, where we go see him. Finally, it's happened this season and people are starting to see it. But the fact remains, there's not been a fully fit anything for Real Madrid this season. At some point, Kylian Mbappe was out. He was injured. At some point, Vinicius Jr. picked a knock. I think the only person who's not been injured a lot this season has been Rodrigo. But even then, Rodrigo has had a torrid season. And these things happen. So while I would be the first to want to, punch him down and say that, oh yes, Don Carlo got absolutely dominated and destroyed by Hansi Flick using young La Masia boys, you also have to acknowledge that to a large extent, and Don Carlo mentioned something, he also said that the investment into the team, I think it was a little bit of hubris towards, in the summer transfer window. Oh yeah, once we get Mbappe, we're definitely going to dominate. They forgot that in as much as they survived last season and won a Champions League without Karim Benzema. Jude Bellingham was played in the false 9 role. He dominated. But losing a player as creative as Toni Kroos in the midfield and having a Luka Modric that
and
can
not
barely
replacing
play,
him
and not replacing him, and having a Luka Modric
I kept
that
saying
can barely
the same
play
thing.
60 minutes in a game. And even when Modric plays 60 minutes, what that means is that you have taken out one portion of what could potentially be an overly physical player from that midfield. For a lot of the season, they've had to play Aurelien Tchouameni as a centre back.
Or play Valverde on the
right hand side.
The truth is, like Brown has noted, injuries have been a problem for Real Madrid. But you could also argue that Real Madrid themselves are the architects of their own misfortune.
Agreed.
Because they had an opportunity to replace Toni Kroos in the summer, they didn't.
Hence the hubris.
You could argue also that they had a foresight. They were targeting. They knew that Trent and Alexander-Arnold, was going to join the team this summer. And Trent, we know officially he's a right back, but he's more someone who is a playmaker from a right back. So I guess in their thoughts, they are like, well, why do we need to spend so much money to get another playmaker when we're already getting one for free in the summer of the following year? So they felt maybe they could
and then another thing is
they felt they could get by.
True.
Unfortunately for them, their center backs have all been out. Militao out,
Rudiger, Alaba
has been out. Mendy has been out for a long spell too. So it's made those guys who ideally could have replaced the guys in the middle. They've had to now play in other positions, and it's brought so much pressure on the team.
And another thing I just wanted to mention is also the fact, and a lot of people are not going to want to hear this, but it's also the fact that, if I'm being very honest, Jude Bellingham has had a bad season.
It's not. You don't have to be honest. He's had a terrible season.
He's had a
terrible season, and that's compared to the standards he set last time around.
And I think that the main reason for that was part of the problem that we saw at the start of the season, where Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe not knowing where they're playing, everybody just crowding to one side.
I think that goes back to the coaching issue, which is why a lot of Real Madrid fans have had issues with Ancelotti. Chuma, in a nutshell, I said this thing some weeks ago, and it turned into an argument. The numbers will tell you otherwise. The numbers tell you that Kylian Mbappe has had a monster of a season. That's what it will tell you, and maybe rightly so. The other side it won't tell you is the conundrum that having Kylian Mbappe in the team has had to give to the manager. Remember, Brown just said something. Last season, Jude Bellingham was played as a forward or someone who was closer to the box. This time around, because Kylian Mbappe came into the team, the coach has found a way to ensure that him, Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo play in the same team. Now, Bellingham doesn't have as much space as he used to have to run it, because he starts
as a midfielder, he doesn't have a lot of range.
Exactly, he starts to play a little deeper than he did last season. In fact, you could argue that he even doesn't want to play in that scenario. And then Mbappe and Vinicius are struggling, are fighting for
left hand side.
Officially, Mbappe is supposed to be the center forward, the number 9. But you see him drifting, to that position, to the point where even Carlo Ancelotti had to play them put both of them as strikers. I think that's what's been happening lately. The truth of the matter is, as great as his numbers, the goals and assists have been, if we take out the injury worries, it's also posed a tactical issue for Carlo Ancelotti, and he's been unable to solve. That's a problem Xabi Alonso would have to deal with.
I just want to mention one last thing. One last thing.
We have 2 minutes. We need to pick a few calls before the next commercial break. Okay, quickly, please.
Quickly, I just want to say, I feel like if Don Carlo had the cojones sometimes to bench Vinicius and play Bellingham in that false 9 role, he'd probably have seen that would have been more functional for Real Madrid.
I agree.
Come on, just stay with me. Let's see what the least now will have to say too. Have a commercial break in under 2 minutes time, but we'll squeeze in a few calls, pick more calls after the commercial break. 0201-277-0993. See as El Clasico don't come up passion from my colleagues. Over those they shout, Before they say, I need to. Brownie says, Uncle I. One more second, sir. Okay, so we're going to pick your call straight away right now. This is Game On, brought to you by Femi and the Gang.
Hello, good evening, Chuma.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everybody in the house.
Good evening.
Yeah, this Friday from Igbolere.
All right.
Chuma, this we have a very big day on Ancelotti. Not minding that he has won many titles. When the Man City and Guardiola were having issue at the beginning of the season, we will all say Guardiola is finished because of the issue. Nobody care about the injury worry of Man City. The Brune out, the correct Ballon d'Or out.
Rodri.
But we will all say that as a coach, Guardiola must know how to fix it. So if we can say Guardiola was finished at that time, then we should say the same thing about Ancelotti. Just like Ufoma said, a team that won the double last season, then you acquire the most profile player again, Mbappe, to the team. It's supposed to be an addition. Instead of going forward, what do we get? Achuma, before I round up, this is the second time that Mbappe will score a hat-trick in a major final, and he will still lose. In the World Cup final against Argentina, he scored a hat-trick. And France still lose. So that tells something to Ancelotti. Thank you very much, Juan.
Thank you for your call, Friday. We'll pick more calls once we're done with this quick commercial break. It's Game On. Keep playing one place. *347 *880 *3#. The code you can use to play. That's *347 *880 *3#. Or the website www.oneplay.ng. That's www.oneplay.ng. It's going to cost you only 500 naira for each entry of yours, and we sure will be making those calls through to our winners. Please, when you play, be close to your phone. I'll take just one comment on WhatsApp and we're going for the break. Good evening, Femi and the gang. Chuma, don't overflog Madrid as if Barca would lift more trophies than we did last season. Is it not perhaps less than double that we compare to Madrid? Didn't we beat them on all fronts last season as they've done us back? Bro, you beat them in 4 games last season. We'll be back after now.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire, their best they brought. The banter was bold, the debates were tight, each word a weapon, each match a fight. But now it's bigger, the stakes much higher, the battle returns and it's full of fire. Fan Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is bang in partnership with